Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of ChatterQueens.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, we start off this podcast with a few life updates. Obviously, Happy New Year to the two of us. We're in our new year, new era, new sleigh.
Yeah, first week of taking part, I guess, or whatever you call it, in our resolutions, which we spoke about last week.
Yes, I will say I've done no progress so far.
No progress.
It's only the first week. Mine were all
very Yours are like such abstract, vague. Like technically you could have done it because
That's true.
You have had some self-reflection during this week that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
So in a way that is kind of what you were speaking about, and like
I guess I'm taking the steps I need, but you're right, like mine are more abstracty than yours were. Yours were very much like, there are set goals there.
Yeah, like very specific goals that I need in my life. I have been to the gym once. I did enjoy it.
Nice.
My quads are still sore. I have been on 2 runs. I enjoyed the first one. I didn't enjoy the second one as much, but I did run 6Ks, which for me is quite a lot, considering I think it's probably the furthest I've run in maybe like 10 years.
No, good thing was you did the couch to 5K.
Yeah, but it's in like 6 kilometers is the furthest I've run.
Oh, yeah.
Distance wise.
Yeah.
So did that today, which was fun, nice. I guess. I don't know. It's never really fun. Like, I really wish I was someone who enjoyed running. Like, my parents always talk about how much they enjoy it and how much fun it is, blah, blah, blah. And like, maybe for my mom, it's because she has like her running group and they all go together, and like she has like one of her really good friends that she runs with. Like, she's always had like a running bestie kind of thing, and they just like literally gossip for an hour while they do their walk.
But do they really like run. I was gonna say, do they really run? Because I feel like if I'm running, I'm not getting as much gossip out as I need to get.
Well, like when she used to, so like a couple of years ago, her like best friend from like school days, she's now lives in Perth, but she used to live in South Africa. And when my mom ran with her, they would do like full-on marathons and stuff.
Wow.
But like literally just chat the entire way. Like, I don't know how my mom does it, because for me, I'm like running and I literally can't breathe and my back is spasming and my knee hurts and I'm like, this is fucking torture. Why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, don't even know why I'm doing it, but at least I did it and I did feel really good afterwards.
True.
So I guess I am kind of keeping on track with my resolutions. I haven't taken myself on a date this week yet, but hopefully you'll find some time this weekend. Don't really know when. Got kind of a busy weekend, but
I think, to be fair, those are reserved probably for the weekends that you do have by yourself. Like, everyone gets them within the months. That like maybe 1 month is busy. Like, summer was busy for the both of us. Like, we probably like had like random weekends here and there where we were free, and even then we tried to fill up the times with each other.
Yeah.
So there'll probably be a random weekend where you're like, oh, okay, well, Isla's out or whatever, and like, all my friends are a bit busy. I've got nothing to do today. Why don't I take myself on a date?
But I feel like the whole dating yourself concept for me at the moment is, it's like I need to make time in my life where like I do, like, obviously I am prioritizing myself because like I go to the gym, I go for runs. Like, it's not like I'm not doing stuff alone. And I don't spend time alone. But it's like kind of those things where it's like, you know, like they always say in like relationships that like your relationship starts going downhill when you stop dating each other. Like, you should always make an effort to like date each other, because that's how you keep like the spark alive. So I feel like I'm kind of taking that relationship advice but like putting it on myself. So in a way of like, how do you keep the spark alive with yourself? Like, to love yourself, and like, I don't know, it's really cringing, like cliche as I say it out loud, but it's like that whole thing of like, I want to be like attracted to myself. Like, I want to love myself. I want to be happy with myself and my own company and my own headspace. And I feel like the way to do that is to date yourself, you know, like put time aside and it's not like a thing that I'm doing to better like my body or my mind, whatever. Well, I guess it is in a way, but like, it's more just like, I have an hour a week where I go and I take myself on a date, and like, as in like, go buy myself like a coffee and a sweet treat, and I sit and I don't go on my phone, because you wouldn't go on your phone when you're on a date. Or like, I don't know, like, and you actually just spend the time with yourself. So that's why I'm kind of like, I need to do it once a week, because I need to be doing that, like showing up for myself and prioritizing myself. And, you know, like, even things like I'll get ready for it, I'll like get dressed cute, like do some makeup, literally just to take myself to get coffee, because it's like that thing of like, I want to date myself so that I can love myself.
Okay. I kind of get you then. It's like I do it like sporadically sometimes. And like sometimes if I'm like, everyone's busy, everyone's got their plans, or like I don't want to bother people, I've got like an errand to run, so I'll go do the errand, but I'll just quite cute to go do it. So I'm like, okay, it's like when I went to go read my book in like Holland Park, I was just like, yeah, okay, well I'll do my errand, and then it's a nice day, let me go out. I think summer dates end up being a bit easier just for the sake of like, because it's sunny outside.
Nice, but I feel like also like I don't want to just do it because like everyone else is busy.
Okay, yeah.
Like I don't want it to be a thing of like, oh, no one else can hang out with me, I guess I'll hang out with myself. It's like, oh, I want to hang out with myself because I am a cool person to hang out with.
Okay.
You know?
I get you.
And kind of be like, I don't know, why would someone else want to go on a date with me if I don't want to go on a date with myself?
See, I think I can't fully grasp the mindset, but I think because I'm alone quite often, I'm just kind of like...
But that's the thing is, it's like, I am alone quite often, but like, same... I don't know, like if you just think about your relationship with yourself, how you would think about it if you had a partner. And it's like, would you want to just spend, which some people do want to, and like that's absolutely fine. I'm just not that person. But it's like, would you want to spend all your time with your partner just sat like in your room in pajamas?
Okay.
And if you think that that's a healthy way of having a relationship, like then that's absolutely fine. But for me, like I don't want to do that. So then it's like, well, why do I do that with myself then? If you get me.
Okay.
It's like if I were to have a partner, I would want to go and do activities with him. I'd want to go for walks. I'd want to go for coffee or lunch or whatever. Like I'd want to go traveling or whatever it is. Like I'd want to do all these things. And obviously at the moment I don't have a partner, but it's like, how can I expect someone else to want to do these things with me if I'm like not really sure if I want to do it with myself?
Okay, see that it's a different perspective because like for me, I look at it in the sense of like my alone time is like my alone time. But then with friends, it's kind of like, because having never been with a partner, I'm like, my friends are like versions of that. Like I'm like,
you can do
anything,
that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say anything I want to do, I'm like, I'll do with my friends.
Because I feel like
if my friends are busy, then I do it by myself. I'm like quite like
but I guess maybe like things like I probably wouldn't go to like Winter Wonderland alone because that is very much like a group activity. So that's something I would take a friend to instead. But like going out for lunch, I can go out for lunch by myself and like have a book or listen to a podcast. Kind of thing. And like that shouldn't be a like scary concept.
No.
Or like going for coffee or even like going traveling, like stuff which for me in the past like 3 years I haven't really done alone because I've had a partner. And now that I don't have a partner, I'm like, well, I can do that with myself because I should want to do that with myself. Because if someone else wants to do that, like, it's like the same as like, you know, you have date night once a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're going to go on a date once a week because we love each other and we want to make each other feel loved.
Yeah.
Like I'm just kind of taking that concept, but then putting it on myself and being like, I want to love myself. I want myself to feel loved. So what am I going to do? Like I'll buy myself a bouquet of flowers once a week. I'll take myself on a date once a week.
Yeah.
As in like, as if I'm literally dating myself. So then I can be like, I don't know, what are my red flags? Well, I've been on a date with myself. Oh, maybe it's this. I don't know. You know, like it's just the whole thing of like, if you love yourself and treat yourself the way you would treat a partner, that's kind of the mindset I'm taking on myself because I don't have a partner and I don't want a partner.
Okay.
So that's the whole like concept behind like dating yourself.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that'll like help me grow into a more confident person if I were to get into another relationship.
Yeah.
Because I can be like, I've done this alone. Like I don't need you to come with me.
Yeah, I think you've kind of run in the risk and issue of, and I don't know if I have this, I don't think I'm an independent person. I do think I'm extremely codependent, and that's how I've always been, and that's how I live my life. I love it. I love company. I'm like, I think because like same, like my work is very like, can be done quite solidarity. So
like in solidarity.
Alone, basically. Something alone. But like, I feel like a lot of like people interactions is where like living in like a shared house is why like I do a lot, say, with like my family and stuff as well. And like whenever I can do anything with friends, I will prioritize that over doing things with myself. But I think the reality of any situation is you will find times where you're like alone, and sometimes I'm like, I just want a bed rot. That's all I actually want to do today, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe for me, because I've been alone for 24 years, that I'm just like, I'm pretty cool with myself. I think it's probably why I can't understand the concept as much, because it's like you're saying, with like buy yourself flowers. It's like, okay, well, say I wake up Sunday morning and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go to the flower market today. I would just take myself and go. I'd obviously ask if people were free, and if they were like, no, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and I just go.
I think it's like, for me, it's like trying to find the balance in life where I am so happy with who I am and the place I'm in that in the future I won't lose my independence again.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Because like as much as I think a relationship has a degree of codependency, because it should, because you should rely on each other if you're going to spend your life with someone. Like you shouldn't be completely separate like entities.
Yeah.
You should kind of merge. But I feel like I maybe merged too much and maybe forced my partner to merge too much. And I don't want that to happen again.
Okay.
Because it's like, I want to have my own life, which means like, you know, and like the thing is within your own life, like even if you do have a partner, there are some days where you don't get out of bed. There are some days where you are like super busy. There's some days where you see like a lot of friends. There's some days where you see no one. There's like, you have all those ups and downs anyways.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, it's just the fact that like, if I can put time and effort into planning date nights and getting myself dressed up for another person once a week because I want to keep the spark alive because I love that person, then I should do that for myself. And it's like different to being alone. Yeah. Because like I am alone like from time to time. I'm a very sociable person, but I am obviously alone from time to time.
Yeah.
And it's like the difference is that like when I take myself out, it's going to be like get dressed up, look cute, go have a coffee and like be alone, but like in a setting that I would normally be with someone. To like really force myself to like be myself alone kind of thing, rather than like rotting in bed, which is something I always do alone. So I'm not putting myself out of my comfort zone. I'm not learning anything new about myself. I'm not forcing myself to grow because that's an environment I'm comfortable in. Yeah. Whereas like, like I'm not that I'm not comfortable, because obviously I've gotten coffee alone before. Like it's not like I've never done that, but it's like I've never taken myself on a date. I have had someone to take on dates for the past 2.5 years. Yeah. And so now I'm like, I don't want to just be waiting for the next person to take me on a date. Like, why do I need a man to take me on a date? I can just take myself on a date. True. Or I can take a friend on a date if I want. But the whole point is to be like, I need to be so sure of myself and happy with myself that if someone were to come into my life again, and I were to get into a relationship again, that I don't need them to be in that setting. Yeah. Like I can go out for lunch and I can happily do that alone. Yeah. But if you want to join me and like I wanted you to join me and you added to the lunch that was already so lovely because I love myself so much, then you're more than welcome to. Like that's the kind of the mindset I want to be at some point. Okay. So that I'm not like becoming so dependent on someone else to improve my mood and like improve the situation. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'm not going to get to that point if I don't go out of my comfort zone. True. Which is like the whole point of dating yourself, is to go like do activities and like, do stuff. Yeah. For myself, literally just alone for myself, to like be like, you know what? I don't need a relationship to be happy with who I am in my situation. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas like, if I just like spending time alone and like, I don't know, it's like different because I do obviously spend time alone. Like, watch movies. Like I think last weekend I got out of bed like once on Saturday. So I was like very happily alone in bed, like hungover, but like that's different, you know, because I'm used to that. I've done that before many times. Yeah.
I think you're probably going through what I did when I moved to London for the first time, and it's like I didn't know anybody, and I was like, and I don't know what to do. And at that moment, everyone in the house was couples. We weren't maybe as close as in like as a house. Like obviously we spoke and stuff in the kitchen, but it wasn't the point where we were hanging out as much as we did. But I think I then forced myself to be like, well, if I don't get to, like, if I haven't got anyone to do things with, I should just go do them myself. So I went to like markets alone. I did like strolls through like just local markets. I went flower markets and shit. And I just would go out, and maybe I'd like have to force myself out being like, okay, the errand is I want to go to this thing. Let me just go. And then once I was out the house, I quite just enjoyed like hanging around and then just like
going for like a stroll.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, look, my thing is, if I can do it, any fucking person can do that. And I don't mean that in a mean way to be like, why can't you do this? I just mean, me being me, like, I just don't know. I feel like if I can, I genuinely am like bottom of the barrel. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Bottom of the barrel of what?
I don't know, but it's like life expectancy. Like, I'm just like, I'm not the most like outgoing whatever. So I'm like, if you just take me as like a base, like if I can do
but like shit, in what sense?
I don't know how to describe that feeling that I'm saying. I'm not doing it to be like negative about myself. I'm just kind of
self-deprecating. I'm the bottom of the barrel. Like, what do you mean by that?
I don't know how to work. as someone who like doesn't ever try and like self-help herself or like try and improve herself.
You said last week that you're perfect. You don't need resolutions because you're perfect.
Really gonna come back and hold me. I think it's just sort of like it's that weird content vibe, which I'm kind of like, anyone can reach us. Okay, I realize what I've meant here is when I say anyone can do it, I mean genuinely, my mind is a literal chaos of clusterfuck. Like I'm like, if the idea of doing anything alone is genuinely terrifying to me, and I hate doing it. And I spend the most time alone with myself. Probably this year, it was like my first year of uni, and then this year is when you suddenly like you felt it. And because I guess I'd already gone through the first year and like hated it, I was like never again. By the time the second time came around, and I'm obviously a bit older and mature, it's a lot more like you either know how to handle it or you know how to like keep yourself busier in that sense. That you're like, okay, well, I didn't like how I felt the first time it happened. How do I make it better? So I guess I don't know if this is like first stages for you or second stages, but yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't mean it in a way to like for everyone to be like, oh, but what do you mean? Don't shit on yourself. I don't really mean it in a shit on yourself way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if I'm also like the most vain, narcissistic person in the world. I'm literally like, not that I'm like perfect, but I'm like quite content with my being. I think
that's good.
I am who I am at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that is an anxious ball of like depression and anxiety.
Yeah,
like I
am a mentally unstable person.
Yeah.
It's who I am.
I am a mess. The end. Yeah. Like I'm like, what else is gonna change?
I just feel like like for me, I do enjoy my own company.
Yeah.
But like I think some people are social people and some people are alone people who enjoy social times. Like I am definitely a social person.
Yeah.
And I like sometimes big social things are too much for me. But like I would 9 out of 10 times I'd rather do or have another person with me. Like you've seen when you leave me alone for the day. Like I came back on, was it like Tuesday or when? I don't know.
Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. I left me alone for the day and I had like a genuine mental breakdown because I didn't speak to anyone all day. I was like, eventually my friend called me in the evening and I just sobbed to my friend. And I was just like, I hate my life. I'm so alone. I'm so miserable. And they were like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, clearly not. Look at me right now. Do I look like I'm a mentally stable, okay person? No, I am not. So like I am like I literally crave like social interaction. I love social interaction. But like this whole exercise is also that like I don't want to just replace what was my partner with now another person, whether it's in a friend way or a romantic way or any way. Like I don't want to have to be relying on another person to calm myself. Like I should be able to like regulate myself.
Yeah.
I should also not have mental breakdowns when I'm left home alone for a day. Like I should be able to like handle that.
Yeah.
You know. But I feel like like I just love like being around people that is really hard for me to do those things.
Yeah.
And not because like I'm scared or I feel like someone's gonna judge me or whatever, but it's just more like going out, I have so much to say and no one to say it to, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is a narcissistic thing, but I'm like people will love what I have to say. Who do I talk to? You know, like it's more that thing of like, I genuinely just love chit chat, and when I have no one to chit chat to, for whatever reason, I spiral, and then I'm like obsessed. Like not obsessed.
See, maybe I just don't deal with things in a healthy way in that sense. If I'm out and I like have a thought or like anything that literally I want to tell somebody right now, I will just text all my friends. I'll be like, yeah, I'm alone, but I'm like, I can still text you and be like, I just had this thought, and then I carry on with my day. Then I just carry on texting. If I like, if we can see a fit guy walking down the street, there's a really fit man. Carry on.
Yeah, but
I saw some really cute flowers. No.
Also happen so fleetingly that I don't have time to like I sometimes I just have to talk as things happen, but like I don't have time. Like the thought comes and goes so quick. I don't even have time to like write it down because it's already gone. And normally I would say something and then someone would like respond and I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you said it. And I'm like, wait, what? What
Maybe it's just to start recording yourself. Maybe take the microphone and like the camera out and just be like, I'm just gonna record myself going out and then see what happens. Technically that is you literally going on a date with yourself.
That's true. But yeah. So I feel like I need to basically just become more secure in myself so that I don't have to rely on other people. And like I also don't want to have to rely on, like obviously I relied on someone for 2.5 years. I don't want to now have to rely on say like you, because it's also not fair. Like it's not fair to put all your reliance on any one person, firstly. But also, like whoever I decided to then say put my reliance on, there's going to be a time when that person is too busy for you.
Yeah.
And what then? Am I just going to be like, well, fuck, like, can't do anything now? Like,
that's the thing, Caitlin, you have to like spread it out. I think I rely on so many different people that it comes to a point when all of them are busy. I'm like, there's a weird acceptance there. I'm like, I'll be doing this alone.
Yeah.
That is
like, I feel like as much as I think it's very important to rely on people for certain things, like I also need to rely on myself to the extent that, say something happened and I needed to talk to you, and you were like, I can't right now for XYZ reasons, I wouldn't then immediately spiral. I'd be like, okay, you know what, let me deal with it. And then when Isla is ready or capable or like whatever, I can then talk to her about it. But like, I need to rely on myself and be secure with myself that like I can handle it. You know? I feel like I became so reliant on someone else to just regulate my emotions that I've kind of forgotten how to regulate my own emotions. If that makes sense. So I'm like, I basically just need to be okay with who I am and okay with being with myself. That then when something happens, I can just be like, okay, breathe through it. Can I handle this myself? And if it's like a major thing that's really scary and I'm like, no, I can't handle this, then I will come to you.
Fair enough.
But just to be like, I don't want to be dependent on another person to that extent again.
I get you.
Because I think it got to the point where it wasn't healthy. I think you should be dependent on people. I feel like I'm talking in circles right now. My point of all of this is, I think everyone should be dependent on people. No one should handle everything alone. I'm not saying that I went through a breakup and now I hate everyone and don't want people in my life.
I want 0 friends. I want no relationships.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that I myself was unhealthy with my dependency levels. And so I need to fix that. But I also think that like it's very important that people do have people for support. And I'm just trying to find the balance between having myself and having another person.
It's the same thing as like sharing the load, right? When you think about it, it's like if you have a problem shared is a problem halved, right? But that a problem shared isn't a problem given. You've not given that problem to somebody. You're then both helping you deal with that. If that makes sense. So it's like, you're right in saying like you need to figure out like your capacities, what you can handle, like what works for you and what you know like your limits, say. Because then when it comes to like a problem shared, you're like, well, I can share it, say, with like a few people, but I know I can solve the little bit that I still have with me.
I can handle 50% of it, but I just need someone or some people to handle the other 50%. I think that was my point.
I got you that. We summed it up in the end.
I spoke about it so badly. People are very important in my life, and I'm not cutting off people. But I just need to find a balance for myself of like, what can I rely on myself on? I don't know. Okay, moving on from my spiral thoughts.
We were like, we'll just do a life update and somebody went to deep ass relationship thing of being
also
like, do you love yourself? But could you be alone? And I'm like,
no. Anyway, I guess kind of linking to that though, the whole thing of, you know, relying on yourself and relying on other people, etc. We gonna talk about kind of a serious topic.
I know, it sounds so strange from us that we're like, to be fair, I say that like we haven't
talked about a lot of serious things too.
We kind of go from like really like, oh my god, we're to like a movie premiere, and then we start talking about films and shit and like music and crap, and then all of a sudden it's like, and let's get serious. Like, let's talk about depression.
I mean, to be fair, the beginning of this season was kind of a depressive beginning.
I mean, not that, well, I guess most of the viewers, because everyone probably knew what was going on when we started the season, I guess.
That's what I mean. Like, we talk about, like, I think like the first like 3 episodes were about how stressed out and sad we were. Like, it's a pretty depressive podcast.
That is true. We're trying to be happier. But,
we are happier now.
And we're working on ourselves for it. And even though this might be...
as you heard, I'm working on myself.
And even though this might be quite like a serious topic, I think we figured it was important to share, because I also feel like over the past week, I've learned more than I probably like should have, like more than I know, but that I should have been told.
That someone should have taught us. At some point.
Because it's kind of like all these things keep happening, and then it's like, surely this should have been mentioned by somebody at any point that was a thing. You know?
But basically. I don't know why it makes me laugh whenever I say it. It's a very serious thing, but I feel like it just makes me laugh.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I I have a lump in my boob, and obviously anyone who is a woman or knows a woman, I guess.
Do men not get lumps?
I don't know. I take that sentence back. Anyone who is anyone knows that is a very scary thing.
Yeah. And
it's also not the first time this has happened to me. So that kind of makes it more scary if it's like a recurring thing.
Yeah.
As of right now, like I don't really know anything about it. I have gone to a doctor and they said they don't think it's anything to be concerned about, but I need to come back because when I went to the doctor, I was on my period. And for those of you who don't know, if you get a period, apparently that can result in lumps.
Yeah, mind blown. As like a female who's been having a period for how flipping long.
Yeah.
Where was this information during like these stupid STD talks? Yeah, I get STDs are bad, but I'd like to know if I'm going to get lumps every fucking month. But
also like because there's so much talk about like, you know, you have to like examine your boobs to see if you've got lumps, blah, 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 blah. But no one says don't do it when you're on your period because you might find a lump and it's not a scary thing.
Yeah, that should be kind of like maybe like step 3, being like, and if you do find one,
check where you are on your cycle.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, still get it checked. I think regardless if you're on your cycle or not, still get it checked out. But again, a fact that like, how many girls don't know? I mean, out of this house, none of us knew.
Yeah, and you like people that I've spoken to about it, no one has like knew that was a thing.
Unless we're all just really, really stupid.
Yeah, maybe none of us paid attention in biology or whatever.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. It was just like STD, and by the way, you bleed once a month. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was roughly it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a little bit like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of stressful. I'm also 99% sure there's nothing like bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. I just feel like I would know if I had cancer. And I feel like people say that, but like, how would you?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, there would surely be other signs.
I think the fact that like the doctors, like you said, they came across like not that concerned. Obviously, they're like, please do come back. So I think at the end of the day, doctors have to be precautious about anything.
Yeah, like they can't just say it's nothing on like the off chance it is something.
But it's the fact that like this is something that comes up and they're like, oh, this does happen. Let's just see in a week if it's still there. And if it's still there, then we'll take the step. Yeah. But I think anything like this is something like you kind of do have to take it day by day almost, because it's like nothing's going to get solved tomorrow. Like, you're not going to know.
Realistically, even if I go and I have to do like tests or stuff, like it's all like a slow process anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But like I wasn't really stressed about it like when I first found it, and I was like, oh, okay, let me just book a doctor's appointment because that's what you should do. And I do want to get it checked out because it's a little bit worrying. Yeah. And I like call up the doctors and I'm like, hey, can I book an appointment for Friday, like for your next available time? And they're like, oh, Friday 4 p.m. and this is on Tuesday. And I was like, perfect, that works for me. I'm not going to be working, so I can come. That's easy. And then they were like, okay, and what's the appointment for? And I was like, oh no, I just found like a lump in my boob. And the lady was like, what? You can't wait till Friday? And I was like, oh my God, am I going to die in the next 3 days? Like,
what do you know that I don't know?
And she was like, no, like you have to call tomorrow. And she even like double checked. She was like, let me see if there's been any cancellations for today or tomorrow. Oh no, there hasn't. Oh, okay, well you have to call tomorrow at 8 a.m. to get an emergency appointment. And I was like, oh my God, like, why are you so stressed out about this?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a very serious thing. But I was also like, as a nurse, or even as someone who works in a doctor's room and a doctor, like, aren't you meant to be keeping your patients calm? And if I call up and I'm like, can I get the Friday one? And then you're like, oh my God, you cannot wait till Friday. That's not keeping me calm. Like,
yeah, like a simple thing like, oh, okay. I mean, we can book you in. I really would strongly recommend, you call tomorrow morning. Like, please promise you will. Like, obviously, it's still a serious topic. We can book you in for Friday, but like, yeah, maybe with a sense of ease rather than being like, oh
she
my
had,
God.
A full-blown panic attack. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it to the end of the week. Like, it's essentially what you're telling me over the phone after having never met me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, there's nothing much else to say about it, I guess.
It's just like, I guess it's a weird limbo phase now. Like, you just have to wait and then go back and see what they say.
Yeah. Also, like, obviously it's a serious topic and I'm not going to make jokes about it, but like, I don't think I am someone who could lose all my hair to chemo. And that's all I've been thinking about, is that I have too round of a head to be bald.
Maybe it's the perfect head to be bald.
No,
you got a perfect round
just
head.
Look like a little football.
Yeah, but I've got like a flat head. Like my head is genuinely from the back of me, like this.
Have you seen that thing where it's like that shows that your parents didn't pick you up?
They didn't roll me over, so you have to get like a fully formed dough ball head. But I've got like, if I generally lie down, it's literally just like, it's just like a flat head. So if I for whatever reason went bald, it would just be this with like a cup. Like I'm not meant to be bald. You as a round head, fair enough. I'd be like,
no, I don't know.
It'd be like a little Lego character. It'd be fine.
I don't know if I have it in me. Though I could get some cool wigs.
That is true. You could
do some funky hair colors.
But also, we're thinking way too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I know. But like, this is like, like I just had that thought when I was like, if it is, because obviously, like most people, when you get kind of what could be bad news, like you obviously don't know it's bad news yet, you like think worse scenarios, and then you kind of talk yourself off the ledge, whatever. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm not meant for chemo. I can't lose my hair. Like, because also, it's so curly that when it grows back, it's going to look so bad for so long.
You'll have like Ice Spice hair, like as it grows.
I'll probably have like an afro at one point. And like, it took me like 24 years to grow this long.
Yeah.
And I was just like, seems like such an effort.
Fair enough.
But obviously, that is not a reality in my life right now.
Yeah.
And probably won't be. But yeah, they did say they think it could, like, if it isn't like period related, it is most likely a cyst.
Okay.
I don't really know like what that means. Like, do you just leave it in there though?
I think it depends on where the cyst is and how like likely it is to burst. I think bursting a cyst can be quite like painful, but they're also like, but if it's got a risk of bursting, then I think they'd probably want to remove it. But it's probably, I think it's very like I'm trying to think of my Grey's Anatomy terms right now. Non as invasive, if that makes sense. So probably make a little like grab the cyst, pop it, pull it out kind of vibe. So if it's something that you don't want inside you, I think you're well within your right to be like, I would like it out. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that causes like slight concern about it is that like if I like touch it or like push on it, it does hurt. And I don't know if that's a problem or not.
My knowledge from Grey's is not telling me anything about this, but I think it could just be obviously the area which it's in anyway. It's
like a sensitive area.
Sensitive, especially when you're on, when you're due on it and when you're on. So it could just be like you said, like let's see afterwards, and then if worse comes worse, you give it a test, and hopefully it's I always forget the name, the non-cancerous one.
I know, one's malignant, one's benign. Yeah. I always forget which one's
which. I think malignant is non-cancerous and benign is cancerous, but then benign sounds like it should be more like non-cancerous. That's what I was literally going to say, and
I don't know why I think that. Benign sounds like
non-cancer, like cells. It's
malignant sounds like an evil ruler. So that would be cancerous, like Lord Malignant.
Once we'll name it, Caitlin. If it turns out bad, then Lord Malignant will take over your body. We'll all out shit.
Whereas like benign's kind of like, meh.
Yeah, it sounds like a sigh, like, oh, benign.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, no.
Yeah. But, so I know the last lump I had was whatever the non-cancerous thing is. It was literally just like a lump of cells. And they were like, you could leave this in forever or you could take it out. Like, we would recommend taking it out because in the future it could, like, a bunch of cells could always become
metastasize
and become cancerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like it's just been one of those lives, really. I feel like it's been like a month of shit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be sad forever. Gotta get over myself and like, you know, new year, new me, my way to happiness.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, now you might have cancer. And I'm like, oh.
Honestly, the song of this year is Obi tries like shit hits the fan. Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, what are you gonna do if shit hits the fan? Like, just deal with it. Apparently, that's what we're doing. I guess like mine's not as serious as yours in the slightest. I think when I just found it out first, and it was during the shitty month of October, where I was just like, I feel like this isn't like, I was like, I already had, like, I was at full capacity. My cup was full. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I went to the dentist. Had a hygienist appointment, lovely lady, she's cleaning my teeth, having a chat. She's like, oh, I'm noticing some something white then. I was like, toothpaste? I don't know what this could be. Like, I'm sure you want to just like scrub over it. I'm sure it'll be fine. And she was like, okay. And then like left it at that. I then got to my dentist appointment, which I love when I do this. Like, because every time I go to the dentist, it's, you've got plaque. I've got a fucking brace behind my mouth. Of course I have plaque behind my teeth.
They always tell me, and I'm like, fucking no. Do you know how hard it is to clean back there?
I'm like, I've booked in for a hygienist, and this time I go hygienist first, so you can just look at the clean teeth and tell me what's wrong if there's something wrong. And he looks and he's like, oh, the hygienist left a note in your records. And I was like, she did? What? No, she's left. He saw it, and he saw. Essentially, he talked about it like it was like a cut or like a bruise in my mouth, but apparently they turn white. And I was like,
oh yeah, again, it's because if you think about if you like cut your finger and then if it's like constantly wet, then like your skin goes like kind of like that white flaky.
Oh, it's like when, you know when you wear like a plaster for too long, you get wet.
So if you think about like any cut in your mouth is going to be constantly wet, so because it can't dry out. Yeah, it goes like white.
Yeah, he was like, it's either like a cut or a bruise. It's not, and for like about 5 minutes, it's nothing serious. It's nothing serious at all. I want you to come back in 2 weeks, though. It's nothing serious. It could be a prelude to cancer, but it's nothing serious at all. And I was like, I'm sorry, do you want to just go back 5 days? It's going to be fine. And like, tell me what that other thing you said was. And he was like, no, sometimes this is a prelude to cancer. And if that's the case, we'll take photos, we'll send it to the hospital. But the likelihood is that it's very, very, I'm not even worried that it is this, but I feel like I should let you know that this could be this. And you may have to go to the hospital about it, which also takes like a year process. Like it's going to be 6 months for you to even get it through to the hospital. They might reject it.
Why is it so long?
I don't know. I think the dental NHS is like quite just like a very long ass process. I do think if something was like, if it was still like a big issue, my parents would have been like, we will pay because we just want you to be okay. But I do think it was like, essentially he was telling me this, and I'm at this point, my cup is full, we're still amidst October shit, and I was like, I'm okay, I'm gonna be fine. And I think I remember coming back and like, I think I texted my like home friend Kate being like, my uni friend, and been like, so the dentist thinks I have some like prelude to cancer in my mouth. I'm a bit like, I should be concerned, but I genuinely couldn't give a fuck right now. And I think I told you guys, but like, it is what it is. Like, life is what to be fair, I'm like you, except instead of thinking chemo, I was like, and death.
So at least I had a step before death.
No, I was just like, what do they get? Well, then part of me was like, because usually, and I know how I am, I'm a hypochondriac to the core. If anyone mentions the C word to me in any capacity, I would be being like, I'm going to have to go through cancer, I'm going to write my goodbye letters, I'm going to do like videos, I'm like, do I get to make a wish? Like, I'd be like,
we're not children.
Well, I don't know, I'd be like, what am I going to tell my parents if I make a wish if this shit happens to me? Like, I'm like, all these scenarios would usually go through my head. I think because I'd reached such full capacity that I was like, I'm actually okay, which I realize is a very unhealthy thing to be, but I'm also like, it's weirdly the most healthiest I was to do that when I was at full emotional capacity, to be like, so I can't change anything.
You couldn't actually get any more freaked out.
Oh yeah, it's like, I was telling my parents, and they were like, sorry, what? And I was just like, Mum, Dad, it'll be fine. We'll see you in 2 weeks. What am I going to do? What's going to change in the next 2 weeks? Nothing can really change. We'll live my life. I'll come back in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. And then it wasn't probably too fair until I was like driving to the appointment. I was a bit like, is it still there? Because I also thought it would disappear in 2 weeks. He kept saying it'd be fine. And then luckily all was fine. It disappeared, and he checked, and I was like,
no cancer.
Yeah, I was like, woohoo! Don't have to deal with this shit. Because then I was like, that really gave the idea of having like mouth cancer, and I was like, are they going to like remove my mouth? Like, to get like jaw surgery. You have to get
that like little hole,
like Val Kilmer, and have to speak through like a robot,
and then drink through like a straw.
But that's throat.
That's what they used to show me.
Mouth, though?
I don't know. But that's what all the pictures they used to show me at school, to be like, don't smoke, kids, because otherwise you're going to have to live with a hole in your throat.
Damn. But yeah, either way.
But then I saw this picture of this lady that obviously had whatever cancer and had to have that whole thing. But then she was just smoking out of the hole in her throat. And I was like, well, it's not that much of a deterrent. Look at that lady.
Clearly it stops nobody. But yeah, no. So that was my small.
It was good though. That like it was nothing.
It was good you went through that. I was like, oh, okay,
character building.
At least you learn, Isla, not every situation is life or death. I mean, to be fair, weirdly, apparently the cure to hypochondria is to have your emotional bucket so full that you're part of it. You can't even spiral because there's
nowhere to go. You're already spiraled.
You have nothing left.
I'm at the bottom of the hole. Like, I can't go deeper.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm here. Like, what other shit are you going to give me at this point? Just bring it on.
Yeah, I do feel like that's kind of where I'm at in life at the moment. I'm like, honestly, like, a whole nother thing, but like, was meant to get a visa, couldn't get a visa, might not even go on a holiday with my family, and I'm just like, you know what, it would be nice for the universe, which is like, we can see you're kind of struggling with a couple of things. Like, why don't we just give you this one? Yeah. But instead, it's like, no, you thought you were going to have a happy actual New Year with your family.
No, like, it's really giving like a scene from any movie ever. You know, the Carrie's gone through so much shit. We should be like standing in the rain with the thunderstorm, being like, "Strike me down, God, strike me down! Clip, what are your plans?
Do you want from me?
What more can I give you? I don't know what I'm doing."
Like, genuinely. But then in those movies, this is like where I'm at right now. When I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of shit going on in my life. There has been it's been a lot for the past 6-7 weeks. Like, I feel like I've had so much emotional strain, and like, but also like good and bad. Like, it's just been like up and down and sad and happy and whatever. Like, I feel like I've just had so much happen in my life.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, if you just pretend it's all a movie. Yeah. And then in the movie that all the bad stuff happens, and then suddenly the main character like wakes up and then gets like a promotion, and then like
all this like the CEO comes and picks her up in a limo. Like,
now he's like this guy that she randomly met for coffee. Turns out he's like a fucking prince, and now she's a princess. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for that part of my movie.
Yeah,
because this part of the movie is like the middle part when it's all sad and
it's like the plot. This is the plot of the movie, basically.
Yeah, and it's raining and there's music playing, and she's like driving away in the car, looking out the window, crying. Like, that's my part where I'm at right now. So hopefully, the good parts are coming.
We're all praying this is a happy movie. We're really praying this.
Maybe it's one of those sad biography movies where you really cry at the end.
Really, I'm not manifesting that for either of us, Caitlin. Our witchy powers are so strong at the moment. Like, no, we're only wanting good vibes. And I think that what's happening now is just like, it's the leftover shit that was like, it's everything over the past like few months. And I just think 2024 needs to be done with. I think it just needs to be book closed. Like, I know we said New Year, but obviously it's not the physical New Year yet. But I'm like, I think we just need to close that book on 2024. This November, December, these are like the weird floaty months. We're just here. We're experiencing all the bad. I'm like, but this is 2024. And then hopefully, we all say hopefully, and I'll say this even when we're in 2025, we have some good, we've got some fun plans coming up. I think it will be a good year. Obviously, every good year comes with bad things. It makes you appreciate the good things more. I get it. I wish I didn't have to understand that, but I get it. But I'm also like...
But if the bad things could maybe be less bad than they were this year, I would still appreciate the good things.
More like, also, like, I feel like we've experienced enough bad this year that we can go a full year now and, like, just have good and then be like, well, we really appreciate this because remember us last year. Yeah. And then maybe 2026, it can all just even back out again. That's fine. But I think we kind of deserve to have a 2025 chilled, good vibes. And I'm saying this, I'm putting the atmosphere, and then the next podcast is going to be, and it's all gone to shit. So
I'm bold with chemo.
If you do that, I'll shave my head for you, Kate.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'll be there for you. You got this.
I really hope that doesn't have to happen to us. I don't want to
be like, I hope that doesn't happen to you. I don't think you see what bald.
You and your weirdly shaved head don't have to go through that. I appreciate the thought. No, I'm joking. I also feel like you only have to go through chemo if it can't be removed surgically.
If it's too big and it needs to be shrunk first.
Yeah, or if there's like lots of it.
Yeah, but I also think they do it anyway just to make sure it's not anywhere else in the body. You kind of like, out of the scenarios, you probably do want to have it. That way it's just kind of all running through, getting rid of all like the bad shit. And it just means you potentially might lose a bit of head. Might not use the whole head. You don't know.
Really?
I think it depends how much chemo you have. Like, do you know some people are on it for long time? So then they end up having like hair removal.
Though people always say that if you want really good hair, you should shave it because then it's all like baby new hair.
That is true.
So maybe
start again. Just go buzz cut. You'll be like, you know what?
Maybe I should just do it anyway.
As one of my dates, I'm coming back bald.
What would you do if I just was like, while I'm going off for an hour and I came back with no hair?
I would contact your brothers and your mum and your dad, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, Connor I've met. The others would not know me. So I'd contact Connor and be like, I feel like your sister might be having a mental breakdown. And I think you should come back from university and just be with her.
And I'm wrong.
And I'm not going to tell you what, because I think you need to experience this in person. Because I think if I tell you, you're not going to believe me.
Yeah.
So I would, my point of reaction would be, oh, okay. fair enough.
So good.
And then I would contact Connor. I don't know how, but I would contact him and be like, you need to come and get your sister.
Yeah, she needs real help.
We might need to check her into the institution.
Into the mental asylum.
Yeah, I was like, I think that would be, to me, your breaking point. Like, if you came in and were just like bold, I'd be like, no, Kate's off the rails. Like, I think every friend has it. You kind of know with like every friend.
People say anyway, and I must say, I have dyed my hair blonde in my lifetime. I'm now back to my brunette color, but I also dyed my hair blonde. Like the first time I went blonder was in a very good place in my lifetime. But then I went blonde, and then I was a little bit like, oh.
But I don't know, because I think they always say this about like dyeing hair in general. That they're like, if you dye your hair, you're going through a mental breakdown. I was like, no, I wanted to dye my hair for years, and then I dyed my hair. Now my hair is currently dyed, and I'm not going through. But like, I think it's like separate mental breakdowns.
It's not
to do with
like
my color
highlights. It's like if you went like full platinum blonde.
I also, but like, I want to go
bleach the shit out of your hair.
I know, but I also want to go grey.
Or if you went like I don't know. It's like if you changed your whole head of hair, a very drastic color. Also very suddenly. It's not like if it's obviously if you've been speaking about it and then you did it, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, she's gone crazy.
Yeah.
But like if you'd never spoken about it, like if I had never spoken about wanting to dye my hair, like.
But I would say we've not just spoken about you being bold, but I still think if you walked in that room bold, I'd be like, she's going.
I just told you I want to lose my hair. But like, as in like, if I went, say I just went to the hairdressers and then I came back and my hair was like pitch black. Like that's kind of like okay, like for any girl, if they haven't spoken about it enough to make it known it's like a thing that they've been like debating.
Yeah.
If it was like a quick impulsive decision, like I literally got there and I was like dyed like fucking black as black.
Yeah.
Then that's like, okay, you're obviously going through some shit.
Yeah. I get you.
Most of the time it's when people leave like a toxic situation is when girls go like a very drastic hair color change.
Yeah.
There is like a psychological thing about it when it's like, it's because like when you look in the mirror, you obviously you see yourself, and if you look how you looked during the toxic situation, then you feel like you're still in it.
You can't.
So that's why they like completely change hair colors, because it's like now you're a whole new person. You don't see that toxicness when you look at yourself.
See, I just think that sitting in front of the like hairdresser mirrors for like 3 hours does it to me. I'm literally like, I can't look at myself anymore. Like I don't hate
when
the way
your hair's like wet and it's like flag it, and you're like, oh my god, I'm like round rat.
Yeah, or it's in the tin foils, and I'm just like, I don't hate myself. I do quite like the way I look. I'm quite comfortable with me being me. But every time I sit in those fucking hair salons, I stare at myself in the mirror, like direct eye contact for like 3 hours. I'm like, I hate myself. I can see every single fucking flaw on my face that I didn't know existed, but now I do, because it's all, and the lighting's so bright. It's even like a holistic. You should make it darker in there.
To be fair, the hairdresser that I go to, it's actually really good lighting.
Yeah, but isn't good as in you can see everything?
Well, it's not like the bright white light, that because it's like kind of like most hairdressers are very bright. It's a bit darker and like warmer light.
Yeah,
so it's quite flattering.
See, mine's very like, it's very great for Instagram photos, and they've redone it and they've done it really like Instagram-y. But I'm also like, yeah, but I don't look Instagram-y when I walk into the salon. I look like I need my hair doing, and I look like a mess. But I'm like, but I want to be comfy. It's 3 to 4 hours of my life. I'm not going to dress up. I'm not going to put makeup on my face. I always have it when like I do any bit of makeup. I'm like, okay, well, I look nice. I have to stare at myself in the mirror for ages. I'll be washing my hair, and the amount of water that will gush onto my face. I'm like, well, now I just look like a drowned rat. And I'm sat there with like mascara going down my face. I'm like, yay! Now I look like I'm having a mental breakdown. I wasn't before. Now I am. Yes. Yeah. No, justice for hair salons. I think they just need to be like, it is such a safe space for people. I mean, okay, minus if I don't shave my head off for you, I'll grow my hair out and you can have a wig.
Oh, thank you.
Of authentic Asian hair.
I think that's what a lot of wigs are made out of.
Is it because we grow it faster?
Also, I don't know, it's silky.
Thank you. It is silky.
Probably is because it grows fast. I don't know. But I think, like real hair, human hair wigs, I think.
Mostly Asian. Fair enough. Maybe just Asians are more generous than anyone else. Maybe we're like, we want to do this for people, and everyone else is selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of been our week leading off of the New Year's. We were going so well last week. We were like, yeah, everything's top of the world. We're literally going to be top of the world.
And here we are.
And now we actually don't know what's going on. But on the plus side,
but we're positive.
Everything else is going okay-ish. Work's just a general-ish busy, I would say. Obviously you started your new job and it's going quite well.
So chilled,
which
is nice.
And then we got along well with our housemate. We're doing okay.
I feel like
in every other aspect
itself, it is better than say it was like 3-4 weeks ago, because it's kind of one thing at a time. Like yes, I do kind of feel like I would like to have no things at a time.
I would like to just be good. Just good.
But it's not like I felt like in October there was like 4 or 5 bad things that kind of literally happened at once.
Yeah.
And it was like you couldn't even catch your breath between dealing with all the emotions.
Yeah.
Whereas at least this time it's like, okay, it's also like I'm in a better place to handle it. Like
it's like your body knew. Don't grow this lump.
Yeah, it was like, hold up. We just can't.
Not
quite yet, you just wait 3 weeks.
We wanted to process this properly, so we're gonna wait. We'll schedule it for like a month later. We'll just wait a month, and then we'll schedule it, and then you
literally. Yeah. Well, I guess in that case, like I'm quite grateful.
I do always worry about that though sometimes. That, like, do you know how your brain controls everything in your body?
Yeah.
Like, what if you're like, say, watching Grey's Anatomy and you're constantly thinking of tumors and cells growing? What if you're weirdly like not a manifestation, right? But what if your brain is unconsciously telling cells to grow?
Grey's Anatomy.
But I'm saying, like, I always genuinely get this really freak out thing. I'm watching like McDreamy talk about brain tumors. I'm like, but what if because I keep thinking about brain tumors, I'm gonna make my brain make a brain tumor.
Well, I think like on tumors. Like they're not controlled by your brain. That's the whole point.
Oh, I thought the whole point was that they're like cells that just grew when they weren't meant to. Yeah, but then all that's formed from like a brain thing.
But I think they mutate like on their like it's a cell that obviously your body created, but then the mutation isn't created by your body.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a foreign thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I had in my mind that I was like the brain's going to cause all of this, and I'm gonna literally push it on its way and be like. Just constantly thinking about multiplying cells. Stop watching
Grey's Anatomy for that reason. Maybe if I stop watching, my lump will go away, and I'll never have to go back to the doctor.
Yeah, like I found the cause. I literally keep manifesting this shit for myself. No.
I'll watch some like feel good, happy series.
New Girl, Two Broke Girls.
I already watched New Girl. I don't like Two Broke Girls. It really annoys me.
Oh, I quite like that show. What else? Modern Family.
I fucking love Modern Family.
There you go.
That's such a good show.
What bad stuff happens in that realistically? I can't think on the top of my head.
I don't. That's just general life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like good shit life, not bad shit life.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching too many ghost shows. I'm on to Supernatural again. Fucking love Supernatural. But I'm also very much convinced our house is haunted. But we're a friendly ghost, which is quite nice.
Friendly ghosts are cool.
Yeah. I think it's a she, and I think she agrees with us here and there. You can tell when she like randomly flickers our lights or makes the water go on and off.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you for the agreement there. She does chime in quite well. But yeah. Well, that is the end of this week's episode. I'm hoping you guys have learned something. More so in this fact of like, I guess it's the one fact. We started this like second segment being like, oh yeah, like we're learning loads we haven't learned about each other. Like, no, I just learned that one thing that you apparently can get lumps on your period, which I think should be advertised around the world better because I did not know this.
And also that you should be checking yourselves.
Oh yeah, that's an important thing too.
Yeah.
Please do keep checking, and we hope you guys are all happy and healthy and not living our shit life, basically.
Hope you're better off than I am.
You will be okay. You'll be fine. Next week's update will be a happy one, and we'll be like,
and it's gone.
And we're doing things a bit early. I think we might do maybe something Christmassy next week. Just,
get into the spirit of things.
Yeah, start December right, and I think December should be our Delulu month. We should just be delusional in December. I think it fits perfectly.
I tried to be real. I tried to like reflect
That's the thing. I think October was shit, and then November was realization and shit, and then now it's just delusional because November tried to be like real and fine, and it's just turning out to be shit. Wasn't. Yeah, now it's turning out to be shit. So delusion. I think that's where we're heading to in December.
Natural progression of life,
of course. So come along with us. So we hope you guys keep watching, listening, subscribe, and all that shenanigans.
Yes.
But yeah, join us next week for something a bit more magical and Christmassy, we hope.
Yes.
But yeah, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye guys.